What's up, everyone? Welcome to my Prototype 2 crash fix guide for Windows 11. It is April 29, 2022. I'm on the latest version of Windows 11 Home 2.1H2, build version 22,000.652. There was an update just today if you're on an older build version. And to check your build version, just go to Start and type WinVer, and that'll bring up the version like I've got this window here. And basically, I'll walk you through all the bugs I've found. Well, not really bugs, but known issues that are to do with compatibility. And I did have a Pounce fix guide for Windows 10, and that's a bit dated now, but it's still relevant because some of the causes are still present in Windows 11, and there's new ones. So one of the main crashes that you'll get, the first one, is you'll go to launch the game and it'll black screen and crash immediately. Like you won't even be able to get to a splash screen or anything like that, or the menu. And the fix for that is to go into Device Manager, go to Start, type Dev. It'll bring up Device Manager and open Human Interface Devices. And it's to do with the way the game scans. This is my theory crafting guide. It's to do with the way the game scans for controllers and inputs. And these HID compliant consumer control devices get polled or something, and it has a conflict. I don't know, but it crashes the game. So right click and disable them. Don't worry, your mouse and your keyboard will still work fine. I was a bit worried about that at first, but it's nothing to do with it. These are basically default Windows drivers or advanced interfacing drivers that don't need to be active. You can just disable them like so, and that will get your game launching. And then the secondary issue is the game is not coded to run on like 8 threads or 12 threads. Now, I've seen fixes online. Now, these fixes are kind of out there. I think they are like a roundabout way of getting the game working. But basically, these fixes involve disabling hyperthreading, disabling SMT. I'm on a modern system, Ryzen 5600X and RX 5700 XT. I have not done any affinity business whatsoever or disabling anything in the BIOS. My SMT is on. I've got all 12 threads enabled. Just to show you here in Performance tab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, level 12. So you can see logical process is 12, 6 cores. And there is still an issue, though. You can get the game running just like this. Like, I'll run it. I have to do a window because it won't let me record in full screen, and I'm not willing to go through the effort of troubleshooting it. It was just too hard to get it running in some kind of borderless window, even at 1080p. It actually, even though I've set it to 1080p, it'll even try to stretch it to 3440 by 1440 for my monitor. So, I don't know. It could be some kind of monitor detection issue causing it. But long story short, I have to run it in a window to show you guys to record. And when I've got the game running, wait a second, I made that too small. Let's see if good size, that's too big. I've set my resolution to 1080p. I'm just trying to make it readable for you guys, so you can see the core usage. I could also use, technically, sorry, I want to demonstrate one of these issues with the game and how it crashes and things go wrong in the FPS tanks and why it tanks. So if I open my utilization here and then we open the game, you can see it here in the numbers at the top. It is currently using 8 threads. So 8 threads is 4 cores, and it seems to be running fine. Like, we're at 97 FPS or whatever on the main menu. But once we load up a new game, you'll get to certain points that have trigger points that are meant to progress the story. And what will happen is the Windows 11, this is my own theory, is that the Windows 11 scheduler tries to split the load and all the tasks that the game's trying to do, which is coded for 1 core, maybe 2 threads max. And it's coded for 1 or maybe 2 cores, and it's trying to split it across 4 to 8 or however many threads you have. So as you can see, we're loading up the game and it's showing the 4 main cores are getting the most load, the rest is basically idle. So it's using 4 cores now, even though I haven't set any affinity. And if I go into details and Prototype 2 set affinity, you can see all 12 threads are actually activated for it. And I haven't done any affinity with Steam. That was one of the other fixes, set affinity with Steam. I don't think that's necessary. Might be a roundabout way of doing things. But 500 FPS, and then we go into the game, and it seems to run fine for a bit, but we'll eventually hit a severe FPS tank, or it'll trigger on a cutscene QuickTime event. Because basically, the work gets split, and it's not made to be split. This is the simple way of putting it, is the game is meant to just be running on 1 or 2 cores max. That's what it was originally coded for, and task scheduling it across multiple does not work very well. So it looks great though, it seems like it's running fine, 150 FPS, you know, awesome. But we'll see what happens here. We'll wait for the FPS to tank, and we'll try to save it. Sometimes if you Alt-Tab out and do it the right way, sorry, my mouse is in the wrong spot. Sometimes if you Alt-Tab out and change the affinity quick enough, you can save it from crashing, but if you just let it tank FPS and you keep trying to play like you're running at 10 FPS because something's gone wrong with the scheduling, or there's a memory leak, which is another possibility, but I don't see the memory climbing up, so I don't think it's a pure leak. Maybe the people have labeled it as that, but that is not the problem.
Hello? Please help me!
So you can see my RAM usage is climbing, but it's also going down. So, not a memory leak. But it's possible a memory leak might occur, and we'll see the DDR4 2x8 in the left rapidly start to increase. I'll set this here. You can also see the memory usage here on the window. And here's a quick time. This is where it tanked FPS for me before running on 12 threads.
Sergeant Helen.
So we skip this. Here's a quick time event. W and then space.
Okay. You done running?
And here where this monster comes up. This is where my FPS tanked, because you'll see load. Yeah, see the load? It's going across all 12 threads now, and the game doesn't like that. So hold the sprint. Interestingly, it's not actually crashing. That could also be to do with the fact I'm running in windowed mode. I just set Steam launch options and added windowed, the word windowed, in lowercase, no symbols or anything. And that got it running in windowed mode, which may have helped with the game stability. But if you do get crashing at this point, or you get like an FPS tank during the intro scenes, all you gotta do is go into details, find prototype, like open task manager, control, delete, details, find prototype.exe, right click, set affinity, and change it to the first 1 or 2 cores. So like this, uncheck them all, and this is core 1 is thread 1 and 0 on core 1, set it to CPU 0, and then if you want to also use 2 cores, you can also set CPU 2. Or you can do it like this, 2 threads on core 1. I found even 3 threads seems to run stable, but then in cutscenes, I need to have it on 2 threads to get the cutscene to pass. So that this will get past the Pounce mission if you just set it like that. And then once you're done the Pounce mission, set it back to 3 or 4. It'll run fine for the majority of content until you hit a QuickTime event or certain mission progress that might need, that might not want the mission load split across multiple threads. So I find 3 seems to be a sweet spot for a 5600X. And because only using 2 tended to drop FPS a little bit. I was like running at 60 FPS in some areas, and 3 gets it around to 100 FPS. So 3 is a good spot for me. And I'll just continue playing. But this is just to show the game's running fine, you know? And it's not crashing. Stable. You can also just try running windowed mode. That might even help with this stability too. But yeah, just to show how the game's running, and obviously if I took away the windowed mode, this would just be full screen. But there doesn't appear to be any severe memory leaks or anything like that. Unless they're to do with specifically the way it implements full screen.
Something simple at first. Only a survival stimulus.
What? Where am I? What the
And we'll play it, I guess, all the way up to the Pounce mission, and just to show the game is running fine, and that I can pass the Pounce mission, because my first, even though I did a text guide on how to pass the Pounce mission, I had people that didn't bother reading, or they didn't want to read, and they just would comment that my guide's fake, and I didn't show it passing, even though I explained that it did pass, I just showed the bug.
Colonel, please, we might
So yeah, enjoy, and if this helps you out, please like and subscribe. Cheers.
My God.
So just in case you weren't sure, I set affinity to the first 3 threads, and that's why you're seeing high load on cores. The first core, the first 2 threads of core 0, and then the first thread of core 1. Oops, I clicked off. This is the windowed mode, sorry. I accidentally clicked off it. The mouse doesn't stay in the window.
Lieutenant Riley, hit the switch. Yes, sir. Burner will give Colonel Douglas Rogues 0223 hours. Get clean up and recovery in there. Make sure he's dead. Damn you, Colonel, this is no place for your planned robbery. Don't get sanctimonious with me, you fucking ghoul. I've read your experiment reports.
No signs of life, sir.
Make sure I don't need another Mercer running around.
Yes, sir.
Shit! Shoot him! Damn it! Release those specimen groups! Do it now!
No! Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Get away from
Incredible!
me!
It healed him!
Oh, shit. What the fuck did he do to me?
Riley, keep burning him! Gladly, sir. Hello, eat them! Eat them to survive! Shut the fuck up, Doc! All non-essential personnel evacuate! I need a perimeter defense on this building!
Roger, Colonel. Rattler 1-1 is Oscar Mike.
That's my cue to leave. You're gonna pay for this.
So this is the Pounce mission that normally will get stuck.
I need to find a Colonel Rooks. He's the one tried to kill me in that lab.
James, Colonel Rooks is the head Blackwatch commander in NYC. This is much bigger than us.
Capture team has arrived. All units, focus fire on the hostile.
Okay, so this is where the Pounce mission is meant to trigger, and clearly it's not triggering. We'll try to perform one anyway. Pounce attack. Oh, I was clicking on the desktop, sorry. See if it works. 3. Yeah, it is not doing. It's meant to actually freeze the game and make you do it. So yeah, it's not working. And if I can manage to, I'm pouncing. It's a double pounce. Yeah, see, it's not triggering. And now we're gonna try with 30 FPS. I'll try. So one fix was to cap the FPS to 30. To try to lower the frame rate helps it to trigger. So we'll restore checkpoint. And I've already got a 30 FPS cap set. You can use MSI Afterburner Riva Tuner to set that. So you add the EXE or use the global profile if you haven't added the EXE, and just set a frame rate limit to 30 here. And then, yeah. Or you can use your driver software if, like NVIDIA, AMD, they have their own versions of driver capping. But we'll see if that works. We'll try to target him. And no, it did not freeze or anything like that. So the 30 FPS cap didn't do it on its own. And then we'll go into details, prototype 2, set affinity. I want to try it, just out of curiosity, I want to try it with CPU 0. So the 2 physical cores, 1 thread on each core, just to see if dual core will work at all. Just as an experiment. It probably won't, but we'll try anyway. And then the normal fix is just to use CPU 0, and then you can change it back once you pass the mission. Oh, okay. wait, it triggered. So 2 physical cores is okay, but 3 threads on 2 separate cores, which is what I was trying at first, did not work. So that's triggered there where I can hold R and finish the mission, but I also want to try uncapping the FPS and see if it triggers if I restore the checkpoint. See if it works FPS uncapped.
Focus fire on the hostile. Say again.
No.
Focus fire
So we
on the
need
hostile.
maximum of 2 cores with the 30 FPS cap. So restore checkpoint. So I've capped it again, 30 FPS, console levels, you know.
Focus fire on the hostile.
And there we go, it's
Focus
triggering.
fire on the
So
hostile.
you can see how the stuff popped up. Now I can hold R and it's in slow motion. So there we go. And that's the mission objective complete. You just managed to beat everyone now.
God in heaven. He's got fucking claws!
Hold fast. It's just one hostile. Cottonmouth, engage, engage.
Cottonmouth, this is Cottonmouth 4-2 actual. We've lost half our men, sir. Requesting orders, over.
4-2 actual. Dig in.
Oh, sorry, I'm clicking like all over the place. Because it's windowed mode, I couldn't get recording to work. It would just gray screen on me. With AMD ReLive at least. Maybe OBS would work. But just to show the game's working, and you can just run it on... Even on... Yeah, the first 2 cores seems to work really well. 2 physical cores. And then I can uncap the FPS because I'm already past the mission.
Mako 1, get your victors in position and engage Tango primary.
Roger that, Cottonmouth. Moving to engage. Over.
Diving.
Incoming.
This is Mako 1.
That ass whooping ought to restore the father's faith.
So yeah, after that you can set it to like 4 cores. You want a little bit higher FPS or you're running a high refresh monitor, you can set it back to a higher core count. It will give you higher FPS, but you will get, or you may run into those mission issues where a mission will just not trigger properly. So just use the checkpoint and Alt-Tab out. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.